Picture this. A guy shows up every single day, not with flowers, not with grand gestures, just with honesty. He tells her how he feels, she nods, smiles, and keeps walking. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and then one day he doesn't show up. No speech, no warning, no dramatic goodbye, he just stops. And that silence hits harder than anything he ever said. We are starting here because this anime does something genuinely uncomfortable. It makes you watch a girl slowly realize she threw away the one person who was completely, embarrassingly, unconditionally invested in her. Wataru Saju confessed to Aika Natsukawa every single day for 2 years, every single day, and she rejected him every single time. To her, it became background noise, something she didn't have to take seriously because it was always going to be there until it wasn't. The moment Wataru genuinely moves on, not as a strategy, not to make her jealous, but because he actually decides to redirect his energy, everything flips. She starts watching him, noticing him, getting jealous of things she never once cared about before. And the show lets you sit in that. It doesn't rush the payoff. It makes her and you feel the full weight of what it looks like to finally want something right after you've lost your right to want it. The animation is clean, the comedy timing is sharp, and the psychological reversal is handled with way more nuance than the rom-com packaging would suggest. This is the entry point, the clearest, purest version of the concept on this list. But if the Dreaming Boy is about a girl who ignored someone who was always right there, my teen romantic comedy SNAFU is about something messier, a girl who didn't even have the language to understand what she was doing until it was almost too late. Oregairu is a different breed of entry on this list. This isn't a clean rejection and regret arc. This is 3 seasons of emotional chess played by two people who are too intelligent and too damaged to just say what they actually feel. Yukinoshita doesn't reject Hachiman with words. She rejects him with distance, with walls, with that terrifyingly composed exterior that hides a girl who is internally completely losing it. Every time he does something genuine, something selfless and real, she retreats. Not because she doesn't care, because she doesn't know what to do with someone who sees her. Not the performance, not the reputation. And slowly, across 3 seasons, you watch the walls crack. You watch her struggle between the version of herself she's been performing her whole life and the version that just wants to be vulnerable for once. The regret isn't one dramatic scene. It's a slow burn of I almost let him walk away because I was too proud to admit I needed him. Oregairu isn't just a romance anime. It's a philosophical interrogation of identity and what happens when two deeply broken people start to heal each other without meaning to. Built completely different from everything else on this list. Yukino's walls were built from pride. But what happens when the walls aren't pride, they're responsibility, duty, the feeling that you have no right to want what you want? Okay, I need you to stay with me on this one because the setup alone is enough to make half the audience tap out. Natsuo is in love with his teacher, has a one night stand with a stranger. His dad remarries and both women become his stepsisters. But here's the thing. Underneath all of that drama is one of the most genuinely well constructed regret arcs on this entire list. Hina rejects Natsuo repeatedly, not because she doesn't feel it, because she is painfully, achingly aware of what acting on it would cost both of them. She pushes him away for his future, for her own survival. And then she watches him grow without her, watches him redirect everything she rejected into becoming someone extraordinary. The regret that accumulates behind Hina's eyes over the course of this series is some of the quietest, most devastating character work in the genre. It doesn't announce itself, it just builds. And by the time you feel the full weight of it, it's already too late for everyone, including you. The manga takes it further than the anime. If this one gets its hooks in you, go read it. You'll understand why it belongs on this list. Drop a comment below. Did Hina make the right call pushing him away? Or did her sense of responsibility cost both of them something they can never get back? I genuinely need to know where this community stands. Hina's distance was a choice made with full awareness. But the next entry on this list is about something even more painful, distance made from a wound that goes back so far it rewrote the entire story before it even had a chance to start. Everyone put your emotional stability somewhere safe because we're going classic. Kikyo's relationship with Inuyasha was not just rejection. It was a love story poisoned by betrayal, manipulation, and forces neither of them could control. She loved him. She pushed him away not out of cruelty, but out of duty, out of survival, out of the crushing weight of what she was chosen to be before she ever had the chance to choose for herself. And then she loses everything, and She comes back resurrected, incomplete, carrying the full weight of a love story that was stolen from her, and she has to watch Inuyasha build a life with someone else, with her own reincarnation. What makes Kikyo so extraordinary is how she carries that regret, not with collapse, not with self-pity, with this quiet, dignified grief that she lets you see in fragments, one glimpse per episode before she vanishes back into the shadows. There's a version of this story where she's the villain. The show knows that, and it refuses to let her be that simple. Kikyo's story spans lifetimes and curses and death itself. But sometimes the most devastating version of this arc doesn't need any of that. Sometimes all it takes is time, silence, and one moment of hesitation that you spend the rest of your life trying to undo. And we're closing with this one because it does something none of the other entries on this list attempt. It takes the entire premise, the girl who ignored him, the guy who finally walked away, and it strips it down to its most honest, most human form. No supernatural stakes, no dramatic setup, just two people and the slow, quiet disaster of one person holding back for just a little too long. She didn't reject him with cruelty. She rejected him with comfort, with the assumption that he'd always be there, that his feelings were something she could deal with later when the timing was better, when she was ready, when things were less complicated. Later, always later. And then he stops waiting. Later never comes. The moment she realizes what she actually feels is the same moment she realizes she no longer has the standing to act on it. He's not hostile, he's not cruel, he's just done. And somehow that's worse than anything else he could have done. Because she can't be angry at him, she can only be honest with herself about what her hesitation actually cost. This is the one that will sit with you, not because it's the most dramatic entry on the list, but because it's the most real, the most quietly, devastatingly possible. So there you have it, 5 anime, 5 girls, 5 different versions of the same painful truth that the most expensive thing you can do with someone's love is take it for granted until the moment it's gone. Which one of these hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into romance anime that actually earn their emotional weight, the video on the right is exactly where you need to go next.